Hello everyone, it's Marcus here. I wanted to tell you a little bit about how to make your own puppets, specifically Muppets. When I was a kid, I really got into puppetry big time. In fact, at one time I sent an audition tape to Sesame Street, never heard back, and I'm working on my second audition tape, new and improved audition to send to them. But aside from that for a bit, as a child, I really got into puppetry a lot, and I find that a lot of kids experience a time in their life where they can really relate to puppets. They're easy to put on their hands, go like this, or like this if you're more attuned to the way the Muppeteers on Sesame Street and the Muppets and everything do it. And I find that they really relate to the puppets. They can talk to them, create characters, use their imagination, do make-believe, and the puppet becomes their really good friend. Well, the common ordinary hand puppet was not enough for me when I was a kid. So I looked further into how Jim Henson created the Muppets, which are basically puppets, hand puppets, with more special quality. So in this video, I'm pretty much just going to show you how you too can make your own Muppet out of a hand puppet without having to spend thousands of dollars buying one over the internet. So what I have here are the puppets that I grew up playing with as a kid. As you can see, common everyday hand puppet. It's a bird that I put clothes on. I'll move it a little closer so you can see. Okay. The second is not a puppet, for now, but Alf. It's an Alf plush doll, whatever you want to call it, stuffed animal from the TV show Alf. Next, another hand puppet, a sheep. Two more Alf puppets, both hand puppets. And last but not least, a sock that was made into a puppet. This is the oldest one in my collection. My grandmother actually made this. So what you've seen is the variety of puppets that I have at my disposal. And of course I own many more, but they're in a different location at this time. Which that doesn't matter. We can work with what we have. So pretty much I'm just going to show you what I use to make what they would call a hand rod Muppet or an arm rod Muppet on Sesame Street, which is pretty much a hand puppet. And the bird wants to strip. That's okay. It's pretty much a hand puppet, as you can see. Hand fits up inside the bottom. It's pretty much a hand puppet that you can take something such as a rod, and this right here is a piece of steel that I found, piece of wire, steel wire, with a piece of tape on the end to prevent it from hurting the fabric and breaking the fabric inside the wing. And pretty much what's going to happen is this rod is going to go into the hand and make the hand move so that the puppet can wave hello as you do the mouth. I'm going to tilt the camera a little bit so you can see more of what I'm doing. Pretty much take your hand puppet, and if you're handy with a sewing machine or a needle and thread, that'll serve you well in this case. Because pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the puppet's wing or arm or whatever it is your puppet has. I'm going to undo the threading that sews it completely together as to create a little hole right here. And after the hole is big enough, I'm essentially going to stick the wire into it. Now, done carefully, this will not hurt the puppet. And once it's in there, you can choose to either sew it back with the arm in there, or you can leave it like this and secure it with tape if it comes loose. So that indeed you get a puppet that can wave hello with the assistance of the arm rod. Now this one's trying to come out, but you get the idea. Now to demonstrate the way that a hand or arm rod puppet can be done without wire, if you're scared that your kid might, I don't know, cut themselves, hurt themselves, whatever, with the steel or metal rod, a safer approach would be to use yarn, as I have here. And so again, we have a different hand puppet. We have the sheep here. Same thing though. So pretty much just going to attach it here. This does not involve, if you're not handy with a sewing machine, this would probably be the best bet for you, because it does not involve you sewing open the hand and putting in the rod and then sewing it back up. It's as simple as tape and yarn. I'll demonstrate. You want to get tape like this. You don't want to use your everyday, peel-off tape, because it's not strong enough to hold and it'll keep coming loose. And you want to double wrap it too when you're applying it so that it doesn't come loose as easy. It's eventually going to come off because it's tape, but it'll take it longer with this kind of tape as opposed to another kind. Just a little bit more, just to secure it. You see, it even matches the stripes on the sheep's legs. And what do you know? This next type of puppet, which is called the live hand puppet, is probably the most difficult one to do. The reason is because you're going to be under a large cloth, and especially in the summertime, the summer heat, it's going to be really, really hot under there. So you might want to do this one when you're in a cooler place. A live hand Muppet is very much like the arm rod Muppet, except for one thing, and that's that a rod or a string does not control the hands. And in fact, you slip your hand through, and you move them yourself. Now, the Muppets on Sesame Street and the Muppets, the actual Muppets, the puppets are built that way. So that they're built with hands like that you can just slip in your own hand in like a glove and do it. This one's a little different. Because I can't afford something that, something that elaborate, and also because of the time it would take to build something like that on your own, I make my own. And for this one I'm going to use Alf. Now, as you can see, not even a hand puppet, just a doll. Pretty much what I'm going to do, I'm going to take something like this, like a coat or shirt that can be zipped or buttoned up. I'm going to put him right in it. Okay, once he's inside, I'm going to zip it up. Okay. Now, as you can see, the body's somewhat coming together now. He's zipped up, so of course if you were a hand puppet, you could stick in, make his mouth move. He can move around like this. What's missing? His arms. What's gonna serve in place of his arms? My arms and hands. So essentially, with one hand, you hold the puppet, hold him up, and you slip your own hand through. So indeed you get something like this. And when you're shooting a movie, looks very much like this. Now, if you're like me, and you don't like to see your own hand, never fear. I have gloves. So essentially, same deal, just put on a glove. Get your Muppet. And there you go. And once again, shooting the film. And essentially it looks like the puppet's wearing gloves, nothing unusual, he's cold, he's wearing a coat in the first place, of course he would probably need a glove. And it's as simple as that. Thank you for watching my instructional video on how to make your own Muppet. Look for more videos in the future on similar subjects. See you soon!